Now, the Matildas were terrific last night, of course, and I know many of you were watching. You've got to get Series Link. You've got to Series Link this show so that when you're lured away to the sport, you can catch up later. And by the way, you can also catch up on the program through Flash or listen to the podcast too via the website. Anyway, it was a great win, of course, by the Matildas. There's a long way to go for them, of course, though. Another knockout game on Saturday. They've got to win 3 more knockout games against quality opposition in order to win the Cup. But the Prime Minister, well, he's already talking about a public holiday.
Public holidays are up to state and territory leaders. But you know what? We've got a national cabinet coming up next week, and I'll be clearly putting the argument, and I reckon they'll fold like tents. They'll all go one after the other. They'll all go, me, I was first to agree, because if we can get there, that would be remarkable.
Now, this is not on, of course, for all sorts of reasons. First, it's getting way ahead of the Matildas. Better to stick to the old sporting cliche, one game at a time. And also, we're a country with a productivity crisis. And he's seriously talking about inflicting this cost and this disruption on every business across the country, including small businesses. It's just the wrong call. And it's clearly driven by a desire to match another great moment in our sporting history, the casual and memorable call from Bob Hawke after we won the America's Cup in 1983. Have a look again and pay particular attention to the second line, which isn't normally shown.
I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum. You have to work a bit harder the next day to make up.
Yeah, Hawkeye, God love him, hey. It was a joke. We'd all stayed up all night watching the race. It all finished about 5 o'clock in the morning, as I recall. And Hawkeye rightly flagged it as a sort of a classic unofficial sickie day for the country. But even then, he was conscious of a productivity. You'll have to make it up the next day, he said. Terrific spontaneous stuff at the time. I remember it well. I was on holidays and it was my 21st. But now, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is trying to replicate this with an official, costly public holiday planned weeks in advance. Give me a break. It's kind of symptomatic of our age, isn't it? Everything has to be negotiated and planned with unions and 3 tiers of government. Just drop it and enjoy the soccer, I reckon.